Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We have finished the Inferno and we're in Purgatorio of Dante's work, okay? So if you get a bit confused about the numbering, I'm not going to do a separate playlist for Purgatorio. We're going to keep this all in one block, okay? Because it's better that way and more in tune. Okay, so we're in Canto 2 of Purgatorio. And that sounds a lot like purgatory from my understanding, so we will see how his writing plays out. Let's begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Already had the sun the horizon reached, whose circle of meridian covers o'er Jerusalem with its most lofty point. And night, that opposite to him revolves, was issuing forth from the Ganges, with the scales that fall out her hand when she exceedeth, so that the white and the vermilion cheeks of beautiful Aurora, where I was, by too great age, were changing into orange. We still were on the border of the sea, like people who are thinking of their road, who go in heart and with the body stay. And lo, as when upon the approach of morning, through the gross vapors Mars grows fiery red, down in the west upon the ocean floor, appeared to me, may I again behold it, a light along the sea, so swiftly coming, its motion by no flight of wing is equalled, from which when I a little had withdrawn mine eyes that I might question my conductor, again I saw it brighter grown and larger. Then on each side of it appeared to me, I knew not what of white, and underneath it, little by little there came forth another. My master yet had uttered not a word, while the first whiteness into wings unfolded. But when he clearly recognized the pilot, he cried, make haste, to bow the knee. Behold the angel of God. Fold thou thy hands. Henceforward shalt thou see such officers. That's a nice way of talking about angels, like officers, huh? See how he scorneth human arguments, so that no oar he wants, nor other sail than his own wings, between so distant shores. See how he holds them pointed up to heaven, fanning the air with the eternal pinions, that do not molt themselves like mortal hair. So molting, something that birds do. So it appears like these, describing the wings, right? Fanning the air. Movement. So he's describing something very majestic, clearly. Then, as still nearer and more near us came, the bird divine, more radiant he appeared, so that nearby the eye could not endure him. So something so radiant that your eyes actually get tired, they can't stand it. It's like, whoa, it's overpowering, right? The bird divine. But down I cast it, and he came to shore with a small vessel, very swift and light, so that the water swallowed not thereof. So it's on his knees, clearly. There's an angel coming. Something like this going on. Upon the stern stood the celestial pilot. So a pilot is someone who's in an aircraft. I think that's a unique way, because the captain is of the ship. But since angels can fly, in his, like in how he's putting it, maybe it made sense to call it that. Beatitude seemed written in his face, and more than 100 spirits sat with him. I like that. phrase. Beatitude seemed written in his face, so it's very beautiful angel, as we would expect, right? We would expect. In exitu Israel de Egipto, they chanted all together in one voice, with whatso in that psalm is after written. Then made he sign of holy rood upon them, whereat all cast themselves upon the shore. And he departed swiftly as he came. The throng, which still remained there unfamiliar, seemed with the place all round about them gazing, as one who in new matters makes essay. On every side was darting forth the day, the sun, who had with his resplendent shafts from the mid-heaven chased forth the Capricorn, when the new people lifted up their faces towards us, saying to us, If ye know, show us the way to go unto the mountain. So far, it's like very blissful, Canto 1 and Canto 2. It's like Purgatory. I imagined it, at least in Catholic mysticism or whatever, something more gloomy, something near to hell. I haven't heard any like type of suffering yet in here. An answer made Virgilius, Ye believe perchance that we have knowledge of this place, but we are strangers even as yourselves. Just know we came a little while before you, another way, which was so rough and steep, that mounting will henceforth seem sport to us. So here, Virgil is pointing out, we just came from hell. It was very rough, steep, because remember how it described, like going down, and, it's like a lot of exercise. So when he says the mountain will henceforth seem sport to us, like they're in shape. They've gotten that cardio skill up, right? The souls who had, from seeing me draw breath, became aware that I was still alive. Pallid, in their astonishment, became. And as to messenger who bears the olive, the people throng to listen to the news, and no one shows himself afraid of crowding. So no one shows himself afraid of crowding, so they come in, they're not like, hey, are you gonna get close? Like, they come in. So at the sight of me stood motionless. They seemed surprised. Those fortunate spirits, all of them, as if oblivious to go and make them fair. One from among them saw I coming forward, as to embrace me, with such great affection, that it incited me to do the like. O empty shadow, save in aspect only! 3 times behind it did I clasp my hands, as oft return with them to my own breast. I think with wonder I depicted me, whereat the shadow smiled and backward drew, and I pursuing it pressed farther forward. Gently it said that I should stay my steps. Then knew I who it was, and I entreated that it would stop a while to speak with me. It made reply to me, even as I loved thee in mortal body, so I love thee free. Therefore I stop, but wherefore goest thou? My own Casella, to return once more. There where I am I make this journey, said I, but how from thee has so much time be taken? And he to me, no outrage has been done to me, if he who takes both when and whom he pleases, and has many times denied me this passage. For righteous will his own is made, he, sooth to say, for 3 months past has taken whoever wished to enter with all peace. Whence I, who now had turned unto that shore, where salt the waters of the Tiber grow, benignantly by him have been received, unto that outlet now his wing is pointed, because forever more assemble there, those who towards Acheron do not descend. And I, if some new lake, take not from thee memory or practice of the song of love, which used to quiet in me all my longings. Thee may ye please to comfort therewithal, some with the soul of mine, that with its body hitherward coming is so much distressed. Love, that within my mind discourses with me, forthwith began he so melodiously, the melody within me still is sounding. So describing this sort of melody, it sounds very peaceful. Mentioning love, we haven't really seen suffering as much, so it's this contrast of the darkness and the angst of hell. This sounds like something like a oh, like this is how it's coming off in these two cantos, because the melody is delicate. It's not like like it's not like in you, but it's lighter. So far, it's keeping that theme here for us. My master and myself and all that people which with him were appeared as satisfied as if naught else might touch the mind of any. So again, sort of satisfaction, not like the agony and the crying and the wailing. We all of us were moveless and attentive unto his note. And lo, the grave old man, exclaiming, "What is this, ye laggard spirits?" Yeah, it is kind of a laggard type of energy going on here. "What negligence? What standing still is this? Run to the mountain to strip off the sloe. That lets not God be manifest to you, even as when collecting grain or tares, the doves together at their pasture meet, quiet, nor showing their accustomed pride." That's a unique example, because doves do that. When they used to visit, I haven't been able to put birdseed out in a while because of the rain, but when the doves do come, they are so quiet and cute, you know, like they make a little because they're very skittish, but they're very beautiful, and when you see them, they kind of grab your attention in a special way. But sometimes they just you can only identify them sometimes by the sound of their flapping wings. If you pay attention, like they come in and then you look at them and then they get scared and go. So I like how he brings that up. You know, because a pigeon, they often make more of a cooing sound often. And they make this adorable hum. Some birds, you know, they are more talkative, chirpy than others. But I like how he phrased that, because if you know birds, you get to kind of see what he's talking about. If aught appear of which they are afraid, upon a sudden leave their food alone, because they are assailed by greater care. I didn't read those two lines, and I literally was just talking about that. Yeah, like a crow, sometimes you'll chuck something at them so they can't eat, right? And they are more daring. They're like, you can walk past them and they'll still try to keep eating, right? They're smart. Seagulls as well. Like, you can have like French fries, be eating, seagulls will come to you. They're like riskier. They take risks with you. Ducks, kind of, waddle, 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 waddle. And you're like, okay, you know, you're a sitting duck. You kind of want to tell the duck to get out of the way sometimes. But a dove is quite different. And if you make eye contact, sometimes I'll look at you, and if you have this energy about you, sometimes it's a little bit more like, let's say I just got done working out and I look at them, like Eye of the Tiger, like, other times if I don't make direct contact, I'm like, they may stay and let me admire them. But if they get afraid, they do leave the food. Whereas crows are like, bring it on. You know? And it's funny thing, like, one time I went to the zoo I had a little thing of mayonnaise in the paper cup, right? I turn, seagull comes, he swallows it, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, get out of here, like, and then he comes back, and he's just staring at me with the noise they make, and you're like, ah, you're begging me, here's a fry, and then come more and more, and I'm like, oh, my food, I love to feed you guys, you know, but they come more, but a dove is very different. I like bird examples. So fresh company did I behold, the song relinquish, and grow towards the hill, as one who goes, and knows not whitherward, nor was our own departure less in haste. Okay, so, I wonder if we're gonna start, if this is a slow intro to some, like, action, you know? Because I was hoping for more of a gloominess, but maybe he's just trying to contrast all the circles of hell we've read, right? The reader, if you keep reading, you're like, okay, well, this is intense, this is creative, these beings who are feeding on flesh, you know, there was this creature in hell, devil, right, has 3 faces, got Judas is hanging out of his mouth, and, you know, mentions Brutus, clearly at the pit of snakes. But we encountered so much darkness. So I feel like him bringing in the angel and them gathering around in curiosity, like the souls that were with the angel, being surprised that Dante is alive. You can see some type of relaxation here. Relaxation. Instead of a lot of like the eyes frozen on horror. So, we'll see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed, and if you'd like to join my blog and support the channel, it's www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive. Hope to see you there. Let me know what line was your favorite. I particularly enjoyed line 114. The melody within me is still sounding. It reminds me of like somebody who moved to the beat of their own drum, right within them. We move with a rhythm. And your body language reflects that rhythm within you, and then talking about the melody within you is still sounding. It's like the music hasn't stopped, you haven't died, you've kept going. So there's a lot of ways you could look at that. And laggard, I like when texts don't modernize the language, right? We don't need bombastic side-eye, no cap, riz. Like, we don't need that in text. We should be elevating our English and being able to understand what different words mean. And the grammar in this text is wonderful. If I knew Italian, because I'm part Italian and Cherokee, that would be pretty cool to read it in actual Italian. But I'm never going to do that, I don't think. I don't really care to learn my own language. It's not going to be useful for me in America. Spanish is. And then Arabic for religion. Italian, I'm not going to live in Italy. I don't really need it. So, still, those who could read Dante in his real language of Italian probably have a lot to tell us. So, what do you think? Let me know. Take care.